And it is time now, you've waited long enough, to get to Debbie Antonelli, CBS college basketball analyst, speaking with Jerem from Omaha to preview the Dukes and Cougars in March Madness.
Debbie, thanks for joining BYUSN. I think Cougar fans are excited to have you on the call. One, because you're good, but two, you called the game at Kansas, so there's some good vibes there for BYU, we think.
Hey, if anybody thinks I'm good luck, well, at this time of year, I'll take it. I was in Allen Fieldhouse on that upset with BYU over Kansas, so it's great to be with you guys.
First off, let's talk about the most important topic at hand right now. How about your NC State Wolfpack and the run they just made in the ACC tournament, by the way? BYU won that game in November in Vegas, and we didn't think it'd be as good of a win as it ended up being.
How about the Wolfpack? What a win for the fans. I mean, 5 straight days to do what Kevin Keatts' team did, and I thought they kept getting better each time they stepped on the floor, not getting more tired or slower or changing the pace. To beat the Blue Bloods in the ACC that they beat along that 5-game stretch, when you look at Louisville, Syracuse, Virginia, Duke, North Carolina, it can't be sweeter for NC State fans.
That's a heck of a run. Duquesne feeling pretty good about the run they made as well. They've won 8 in a row, or 5 in a row, in the tourney in the A-10. Now they match up with BYU. What are some of your initial thoughts about BYU and Duquesne in round 1 here?
Well, first of all, Keith Dambrat's been a great ambassador in our game and has won at a high level for a long time. So we wish him well in his retirement. And I'm sure the BYU fans are ready to send him off to an earlier retirement. He's got a great backcourt. He's got good guards. The A-10 had a fantastic year in basketball, so I expect them to compete. However, BYU, as you guys know, is one of the deepest with a great bench. They shoot the 3. I love their space and pace. I love their transition game. And I think when Khalifa's in the game, it's one space and one way of playing. And then when Traore comes in, it's a little bit different. There's a lot of ways that they can beat you on the offensive end, and I think being a 6 seed is a perfect spot for them.
Ultimately, BYU was a 5 in the seed line, got pushed to a 6 with different bracketing principles and whatnot. Kansas in Salt Lake probably pushed BYU out of there. I know the Cougars were hoping for that. And then Kevin McCullough is not playing in the tournament. That was some big news. And I wonder if it would have affected BYU seeding, Debbie, if the committee had known that Kevin was not playing for Kansas. But in the end, I think it's probably a good game for BYU versus some of the 12 seeds that we've seen in this tournament that could be very dangerous. Duquesne could be dangerous too, but I don't want anything to do with those 12s.
Yeah, I don't blame you. And yes, bracketing principles certainly might have been compromised for other reasons. But, that's the thing about the NCAA tournament. After we all watched what happened to Florida State in the college football playoffs, I don't think anybody wants to disclose any injuries, plus with HIPAA and all the other things. It's the same thing on the women's side. We've seen that as well. We know about injuries that aren't disclosed to protect their seeding. And, you got to give it to Kansas. I think Kevin McCullough did everything he could to try to play. It's a big miss for him. It's a big miss for fans of college basketball. But I got to believe that you have to like your seeding. I mean, it's an excellent opportunity to match up against Duquesne with how much respect the committee had for the A-10. And I think this is going to be a really fun way to start off the tournament.
We're talking to Debbie Antonelli on BYU Sports Nation. What's the key to kind of elbowing Avery Johnson for a little more, audio time during this tournament?
I think we're going to have a great team. I mean, Tom McCarthy and Avery and I can't wait to get going, along with A.J. Ross, who's our reporter. This is going to be fun. I mean, as much prep and everything that we've done, when you're at home on Sunday night and you're waiting for your assignment from CBS, you're hoping in some ways that you're going west and you got a Friday. Just because it gives you an extra day of prep. But I will tell you, I'm ready. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, and for CBS, this is my 8th year on the men's tournament. So this is a new partnership for all of us, but we're very excited about it. We spent some time together last night, and just like teams on the court, the team off the court on the sideline has to have great chemistry, and I'm not worried. I anticipate us having a lot of fun.
You went to 4 NCAA tournaments, multiple Sweet 16s as a player. What are some of the key principles of making a run in a tournament like this, Gio?
Well, focus is the number one thing, right? You've already earned your spot here, so you don't need to prove anything in terms of seeding or expectation. I think, when you're one of the top 68 teams, especially on the men's side, you've played a great body of work to get yourself here. So I think staying focused is really important. And then I think the number one thing about NCAA tournament play when it's survive and advance is the game shrinks. Everything shortens. Transition points, the court shrinks, gaps get tighter. You got to make plays in smaller spaces. And that's why it's so important to have great guard play. And if you got good guard play, and you guys do, Dallin Hall is fantastic on the top of the floor, the way he runs and manages your team. If you don't have good guard play, it's a problem. But I really believe that is what happens in March is that's the way the games go. That's the tendency. And you better have some good guards that can score.
Give me the scenario for each team, BYU and Duquesne, where if this happens, I think they would win the game.
Well, for Duquesne, I think they got to match the number of threes that BYU is going to make, and they got to be able to sustain playing at the pace that BYU is going to play because they don't have the same kind of depth. Their interior game is not quite what BYU has, and I know you're laughing because most people don't think BYU has a traditional back-to-the-basket post game. They don't, and that's part of the reason why their style of play is so conventional. I think Khalifa's got to have a big game as well, pending his matchup with Mahorsic inside for Duquesne. And I think BYU's going to, I'm hoping they set an NCAA record for number of threes. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to look it up before I go over to the gym.
It's going to be fun. BYU likes to chuck it up, and certainly they've been good at that. And they're interesting, Debbie, because when Ali is out there, Khalifa, there's 5 shooters on the court. You don't have that a ton. And then BYU feels like whoever they bring off the bench, they can shoot 2. Live and die by the 3 is something that certainly BYU has lived on quite a bit. They're going to shoot more 3s than 2s when the season ends, probably. There's risk in that, but also there's a lot of reward. So what are you expecting from the Cougars in that regard?
Well, here's what I love about one of the things that I think is so great about BYU, and this takes a lot of time to build, and obviously it's an older team, but you got 7 guys that have scored between 9 and 14 points. That's great balance and depth. You've got 7 different guys that have scored 20 or more points. That's great balance and depth. So you can absorb maybe a poor shooting night. Even in the Texas Tech game in the Big 12 tournament, I thought when they made that run, if they had made a couple more shots, that they had good looks. They're going to shoot a lot of threes, yes, but when Khalifa's on the floor, the spacing is different because he operates and facilitates from the high post. When Traore's on the floor, it's a little bit different in space. Those are the things that I'll be looking for as I watch the game, and I'm anxious to see and get started just like the players and coaches. We're all excited about this time of year, and we should be. And, Mark Pope has done a fantastic job. I can just tell you I witnessed the elation by him and his players in Allen Fieldhouse, and you just sort of knew, you could see the connectivity of the guys, and you could definitely tell from Mark because he had never been in Allen Fieldhouse as a player or a coach. He had only stopped through on a recruiting trip. What it meant to him and his program to be in the first year of the Big 12 to get that win. So you can see how tight these guys are, how much they care, and how fun they are to watch. So I'm expecting a deep run for them.
And let's say it is chalk, that it is BYU and Illinois. What do you think of that potential matchup in the second round between BYU and the Big Ten champs?
Oh, for someone like me who loves offense, I see the game through an offensive lens. Are you kidding me? I mean, this could be really fun and very entertaining. Both teams get up and down. They've got 3 guys that can score. Actually, their 3 guys score 74 of their 84 points. And I'm talking about Shannon, Domask, and Hawkins. So it's going to be fun. That's what we love, right? This is the part about March Madness that, as much work and everything that we do, this is the fun part for fans because you get to see matchups you wouldn't typically see and styles of play that you really enjoy watching.
What's your favorite part about day 1, the first round, calling 4 games in a day?
I love to, at that point, believe that I've done all the work, just like the players. I've put the reps in. I've got everything ready. I'm organized. I've got some points that I'm looking for. There's things and tendencies I've studied on film. I'm hoping they play out so that I can share those with the fans. That's what you hope for. I mean, I have a list of things, and if they get in, they do, and if they don't, they don't. It's not a force. So I want to, enjoy the games, enjoy the atmosphere, try to take in all the pageantry of it. try to remember how much fun this is, even though all the work that comes with it and the late nights and early mornings that we've had leading into it, it's no different than the players. You know, I'll have jitters, I'll be, nervous, but I'll be excited. It'll be anxious nerves. And after doing this for 8 years with CBS, I love being a part of this team across the board. This is a really great team at CBS and Turner that has come together to put these games on. And I don't think there's a better sporting event in the country. And I'm so pleased to be and grateful to be a part of the team.
Well, thanks so much for the time and the insight, and have a great call on Thursday and Saturday.
Thanks. I look forward to seeing you. Thank you so much.